I mentioned, same as mentioned, threat intelligence, aggregation, correlation, research and development, knowledge base, log collection, ticketing, reporting, monitoring. Log collection and monitoring happens over there. Logs are collected and monitored. So monitoring is that thing which I was talking about, continuously watching those CCTV footage, so that in case if anything happens, we'll get to know, oh, there's a thief, or there's a burglar, or there's an um, attack going on. The same way. So we um, continuously watch over systems or your networks or different sources and applications to identify and respond to suspicious events. Okay, so we'll be monitoring real-time alerts, for example, from tools like your SIM solutions, SIEM. This is only the SIM for any sign of that, that I was talking about, like password guessing attack, like brute force attack, watching for any abnormal network traffic that could indicate any DDoS attack, maybe, right? Like that thing. Honey, event is occurrence of anything, any activity which happens. Incident, on the other hand, is when any event went like where has an adverse effect, that will be an incident. Okay, so as I mentioned, like if there is any login failure attempt from for your account, that will be event as of now. But multiple login failure attempts in short time period and then one successful attempt, that will be called as your incident. Any event which has adverse effect. Okay, you might have called to customer support, right? When you're dealing with the customer support, when they are not able to understand your query, what do they say? Let me transfer my call to my supervisor, right? So they're escalating that situation, correct? You're escalating their your query or something like that, isn't it? Or if you use any application, have you ever seen they say that, okay, raising your ticket when you go for the help support section and put your query over there or your issue over there, they say escalate, like raising your ticket, correct? Isn't it? So that is what your ticketing is, guys. Like what happens, for example, um, any incident occurs, okay, any alert has generated. So we like document and manage the incidents through ticketing system for tracking and resolution, so that we can have a continuous update that what is going on with that particular incident. So we create a ticket, like for example, for any phishing email which was reported by an employee, and it is escalated it to the relevant team. Okay, so in that ticket, we'll be assigning the severity level, like whether it is critical, high, medium, low, to that particular incident, right? Based on its impacts and urgency. So we use the tools like ServiceNow or Jira to update and track the progress of that security incident. So, for example, Amar has raised the ticket, pass it on to Keshav, that okay, Amar has spotted a phishing email or maybe something like that. Pass it on. Okay, this is what I have got. Drop, attach the screenshot of it and then pass it to Keshav. Keshav will be investigating on it, whether it is really a phishing attack or not. Then Keshav, if Keshav is able to handle it, great. Keshav will resolve that issue and mark uh, put put that ticket as resolved. Otherwise, Keshav will escalate that to the incident responder team as well, and then tell them, okay, this is the mail, this is the sender's ID, this is the IP, found malicious, assign the severity over here, high level, medium, low, something like that, and pass it to the incident responder. Whatever the findings were there, he will mention that particular ticket, and then incident responder will take care of it. So yeah, ticketing, log collection, as I mentioned before, like collecting logs from various sources, web servers, databases, devices, like that. Uh, Perfect. Knowledge base, like it's like simply building and maintaining a repository of known issues, like we are creating a database of it, of the known issues or which we know or which has happened with us in earlier times, and then its solutions, its standard operating procedures, SOPs, like that. So we'll document the steps to handle any, like for example, ransomware incidents, to for any quick references during an outbreak, right? Maintaining a list of common phishing domains to help detect future attacks, creating a playbook, like that. R&D is also there, research and development, staying updated on the emerging threats, vulnerabilities and new security technologies, right? Like for example, AI is being introduced, so we have to be, we have to be updated regarding them. Any kind of an attack which is happening using AI, like for example, phishing's attacks are happening more sophisticated. They have become, right? Researching on the latest things, latest trends, latest variants of the malwares, testing new security tools or plugins, you know. So that way, aggregation and correlations are there. Okay, aggregation, like collecting them, consolidating data from various sources, and correlating is there to identify the patterns and the anomalies over there. When I'm saying correlation, we are correlating things with each other. Now for example, if I say greater than 3, I'm writing it. And now see, if you read this line, now if we say if there is more than 3 login failure attempts, more than 3, that too for the same user account, and that is happening within 5 minutes of a time frame. Now can you see we are correlating three different things with each other, right? So we are saying in case if such thing happens, if this condition is met, raise an alert, that because someone might be trying to guess the password, right? Is this point clear? Like we are correlating things with each other to make a sense out of it. So that is correlation, okay? Relating different things with each other. So similarly, you link the alerts from the IDS and antivirus software to identify a coordinated attack over there, like that way. Then we have threat intelligence. It's a very interesting thing as well. Threat intelligence is like an intelligence. See, intelligence, when we talk about just the word intelligence, it means you have some like consolidated information which is having a lot of context, and as per that, you can take some decisions. I'm just breaking down in the simplest way. Okay. We have data, information, and intelligence. Three things are there, like this, and intelligence. Data is something in a raw form. Okay, it's in a raw form. When you process it, you get some context out of it, some meaning. And when you analyze it, you have the complete knowledge and you can take the decisions on the basis of that. That is what when it is known as your intelligence. Okay. So threat intelligence is something which will be leveraging your external intelligence. Internal threat intelligence are there. Like in organization we leverage the internal threat intelligence to improve our detection and prevention. Okay. So what do? We have different fields. Okay. ISAC is there, like Alien Vault is there, recorded feature is there. So they give some feeds with which we can strengthen our security and we can be protected from any kind of an attack. Now let's suppose, okay, we're considering, let's suppose Amar is an attacker. If Amar has performed an attack um on any XYZ company, let's suppose, okay, he performed an attack. During that attack, Amar, do you agree with the fact that Amar will be using a domain name? Maybe, right? He could have used any domain name, any malicious website which he has created, any fake website, right? He might have transferred a malware, right? Any IP would also be utilized or and used in that particular attack. These three things will be there, isn't it? Now, when the XYZ company got to know these, like these things will be also shared. Now, as a threat intelligence, what do? We look out for these informations. So let's suppose this XYZ company is financially based organization. Now, our company will also have a threat intelligence team. So let's suppose if Keshav is our threat intelligence team, he is in our threat intelligence team. So he will look out for, and our company is also finance based. So we also see what kind of an attacks we attract to, what kind of an attackers are out there which will target the financial based organization, right? What new kind of an attack has been um, created, new kind of a malware in the market, new domains name which are being used to perform an attack, any IPs like that. So Keshav will collect all these information from different places, different feeds, and then pass it to the security team so that we can do what? Like for example, in our firewall, can I set up a rule that block that IP which Keshav has given us so that this attacker Amar will not be able to perform an attack, or block that domain name, feed those signatures of a malware in our antivirus so it can detect it and delete it. So those things can be fed into your SIM solutions, as I told you. Like everything happens in the SIM solutions as well. And then SIM solution can also raise an alert if anything has been identified in our environment, and we can take in appropriate steps according to that. And reportings are also done. Like reports are created. Okay, we generate and present the reports on security incidents, any trends, and overall SOC performances. So we create you can say also like a monthly report summarizing the number and types of incident which is handled by the SOC, and those reports are also working like your, what do we call it, KPI, key performance indicator, right? Because you see your security, like I'm giving you both the concept, one analyst wise also, and management perspective as well, because your security solutions generates the revenue on the basis of these things only. You bought a firewall, you bought an antivirus, okay. um the way it generates the revenue, or you can say the way it prove its value is by detecting the attacks or removing the malwares from your system, right? So that report tells you that thing, okay. So we generate a detailed incident response report also, you can say, for any attack which has happened. So it will be including timeline, impact, mitigation efforts. As per that report, also we make some certain changes in our security policy or procedures. Everything like that. So in short, reports are created so that we can also get to know where we fell short in an incident, why it happened, what was the loophole, fix it, how we'll fix it, buy new things, new security controls, everything like that. Perfect. Now, okay. So as I mentioned in this one, what we will be having, you will be having key skills will be required. Key skills are something like this: network security, basic operating system knowledge should be there for Windows and Linux. You should be good over with the log analysis, Windows event logs, web application logs, endpoint logs. Okay, you know how to use the same tools. A bit into malware analysis as well, phishing analysis, because we're talking about the entire SOC right now. Okay, so phishing analysis, phishing email analysis, their header analysis. These will be technical skills. Non-technical would be critical thinking, problem solving, attention to detail, anticipate problems proactively, communication skills, teamwork and collaboration, adaptability, and also your documentation skills. Okay. So network security, you can say, understand how network functions and also recognizing any potential vulnerabilities over there that way. Yeah, sorry. Roles, T1, T2, Tier 3, or you can say incident responders at times as well. Yeah. So interestingly, your leadership will be done with your CISO. CISO stands for your Chief Information Security Officer. I'll get back to that. We have also SOC Manager for the management part. And for SOC operations, we have Tier 1 Analyst, Tier 2 Analyst, Tier 3 Analyst, and your Security Engineer as well. Clear? So it can be increased. You can include some SMEs also into that, like subject matter experts. You can include them as well. So when we talk about L1, tier 1, L1 is the same thing. Tier 1, level 1. See, your security operations is home for analysis. Okay, your intelligence hunting can also be included. Of digital forensics, incident response, everything will be included into that. Okay, in security operations, digital forensics is also there. Okay, in case if you want more idea or uh, knowledge into digital forensics, just ask me this in the end. I'll explain that. Okay, so sometimes more subgroups and sometimes less can be involved depending on the organization to organization. Okay, so sometimes company give analyst an engineer a specialist job title. Job titles are just made up, so we are referring to the type of work that you will be doing. So each subgroup works together to make sure that day-to-day operations are running smoothly. Okay, so but the primary focus over here will be to monitor networks and systems for security breaches, typically using your SIM solutions or SIM tools in the L1. Alert handling will be there. They are the first to respond to the cybersecurity alerts. Their job is to identify whether an alert signals a real threat or it might be a false positive. I'll tell you what that is in the next slide. Okay, so we check whether it is really when the alert is generated, when passed to the L1 analyst, they check whether it is really an incident or not, or it merely maybe maybe it's a false positive. I'll explain that what false positive is in the next slide. So initial assessment is done. They perform a basic threat analysis and escalate it to the level 2 analyst or tier 2 analyst for further investigation if necessary. So they will raise the ticket, document the incidents and basic details for further analysis. Okay, and keep records of security incidents and threats. Then once they have passed it to the L2 analyst, they will do a bit in-depth analysis over there. They receive escalated incident from L1 analyst and perform a deeper analysis. They validate it's a really an incident and prioritize the incidents over there. They begin initial response actions like isolating and affected systems or blocking malicious traffic. That can be also done beforehand. Communication will be done. They coordinate with other teams for incident response, maybe like at network or IT support teams, and they may provide guidance and mentorship to L1 analysts as well. And rules can also be defined. L3 will be there, which is like a responders we can say. Okay, or you can also combinedly include your responders and SMEs separately. So they handle the most complex incidents that require deep understanding analysis. Uh, they look out, search for the threats, right? How to mitigate them, how to respond them, right? Take care of it. In incident response, there'll be a phases. These will make more sense at that time how things are handled. Okay, and strategy and development can also be there. They will contribute to the development of security process and procedures, right? For the tools customization and development, they customize security tools and develop you can say scripts to automate specific threat detection response aspects, right? um, so you can say that kind of sometimes leading the team. They can be also referred as a technical supervisor for guiding L1 and L2 analyst. Security and engineer is also there. um, Yeah, so security engineer team is like responsible for deploying, managing, and maintaining the enterprise's security tools and appliances. Okay. Priya, this question at the end. This one. Okay. So many smaller companies will combine this function with the SOC analyst. They are able to do this due to the small footprint of the network. So, however, more defined companies will have entire teams for engineering, whether this role is staffed or handled by the SOC. Security engineers are also like responsible for updating and tuning the security tools. Okay, so they implement and manage the security solutions within the SOC like that. Apart from that, like you can specify in different organizations, as I mentioned, different roles can be there. I can call out them as a, like subject matter experts. You can include your threat hunters to perform the threat hunting, right? um, Malware analysis, digital forensics can also be part of it over here. Then management, we have obviously a SOC manager as well. That's quite obvious, right? So who will be managing that particular team? So uh perfect, we have SOC manager as well. You know, they oversees the operation of the SOC. It will be including like strategies, implementation and team management. Okay, they make sure that a SOC follows the relevant laws, regulations, and policies. Okay. Then we have CISO, which is Chief Information Security Officer, one of the one which will be leading the information security in the organization, like the one who is having uh, risky job at the moment, you can say, because in case anything wrong happens, CISO will be the one who will be answering it. So they have to look out for the information security in the entire organization. So defining strategies, policies regarding information security, having the budget, maintaining the budget, everything is their job, the CISO's job. So like, it's like the one who will be supervising it, the main role over here. Okay, so this is um, the structure, you can say, in terms of your SOC analyst roles.